on a train, sobbing next to my partner. I sat there and cried as I confessed to hear my deepest and darkest secret, the one that I had harbored all those years, and I could barely speak, but I whispered that I thought I might be a femme. As he put her arms around me and simply said, "I know." All this time, I thought I had been fooling the world, but I had only been tricking myself. Coming out as femme was a process. The first few months, I lived in ripped jeans with fishnets underneath, stating I would never wear a skirt. Later, I confessed to my partner while walking home one night that I might like to try wearing a skirt, but I would never wear a dress. I considered that high femme, an identity I wouldn't claim for nearly another year. Once, before coming out, I spent hours agonizing about whether or not my bag looked too much like a purse. I tortured myself with all these arbitrary lines drawn in metaphorical sand about what is and isn't acceptable, what is too femme or not enough femme. Everything came down to visibility and the fear of having one's identity interpreted incorrectly. I feared if I were to be as femme as I dreamed, I would fade into the background and I would be alone. Amidst the fog machine and flashing lights of an all-ages nightclub where my partner is conducting research on queer club culture, I stand in my miniskirt and tank top. Topless gay boys and lesbians with backward baseball caps dance around me. To the majority of the club goers, my queer femme identity is unrecognizable. I am forced to endure a new invisibility. Standing outside, gasping for fresh air, my ears finally stop ringing, and I watch men unsuccessfully flirting with my partner. In that moment, I realize I'm passing for straight. Red is nothing more than a fag hag to my partner, who is in their eyes a young gay man. Even the baby butches in their white A-shirts with black sports bras underneath don't recognize me for what I am. I feel the cold, familiar sting of invisibility settling in my stomach. I feel old and tired. It's only one of the bouncers, much older than the majority of the clientele, who gives me that knowing smile, and I remember there are people who can still see me. Visibility is something I continue to struggle with on a daily basis, and I'm consciously aware that I pass. For a time after coming out as femme, but before I quit injecting testosterone, I passed regularly as a tranny girl. One night, walking down Vaseline Alley, I heard someone yell after me, "You buy those titties in San Francisco?" Now, most days I pass as a heterosexual female. I'm learning to face my deepest fear, but my life has more questions than answers. Am I a traitor? Am I selling out my community when I pass as my partner's wife? Am I less of a femme? My partner is a transgender butch. Z injects testosterone and passes as male, although it is not how Z personally identifies. It's not uncommon for here to be read as a straight man, and it's only when I appear with piercings and tattoos that the situation starts to be read as queer to the outside world. Although my presence frequently queers people's perceptions of our relationships, when I am out on my own, on the bus, or at work, my queerness becomes invisible once again. Sure, I'm seen as strange, an eccentric dresser, tattooed and pierced, but exactly what I am is often not recognizable. People don't know what a femme is, and I daily endure the flirting and catcalls of straight men. Worse yet, I often pass under the gaydar of people who should know better. I read a posting in online communities saying that femmes should wear rainbow jewelry at all times so people can pick us out. Yet never once have I heard those same requirements be given to androgynous lesbians or to butches. Comments like these from my people hurt more than the prying eyes of straight men on the bus that explain in great deal what they would like to do to my body. My kind of femme is big tits and even bigger tattoos. It's fat and it's raunchy. My femme is a perversion of traditional femininity. It's tight clothes, loud makeup, fishnets, and lipstick. Femme is perpetually misunderstood and remains cloaked in silence and invisibility. Femme is a glitter-filled explosion of the gender binary. On a daily basis, queer femmes must confront the pain of invisibility. We know what it feels like to be dismissed and not taken seriously, to have our very lives, families, and identities questioned by queers and straights alike. When I came out, I sought visibility, little things like a nod on the bus, symbolizing the recognition of family. I desperately wanted to be seen, to connect with other people who, like me, were challenging the norms of our heterosexist society, but that recognition never came until I shaved my head. It was only then that my queerness was recognizable, only when I appropriated masculinity that I became visible as queer. So much of femme history has revolved exclusively about being the other half to a butch, and I in no way want to contribute to this narrow definition of who and what femmes are. At the same time, I cannot deny my own erotic and spiritual attractions to butches. My femme identity in my journey are intimately tied to my attraction to butch masculinity and my sense of peace in a butch femme dynamic. From this dynamic and my relationship to my partner, my strength finally came to embrace a queer femininity. My biggest fear has always been invisibility. To be read as straight and not queer, particularly to other members of the community, is a nightmare that has been a driving force in my life. My journey to femme was not short, nor was it simple. Femme still is a journey, etched into my body and soul. Fighting the invisibility faced by femmes means challenging definitions of who and what queer looks like. Being femme means recognizing our strength and power. It means holding on to the knowledge that femmes have been and always will be fighters, and when we fight, glitter flies.